in our Frontier Lifeline Conference Hall of Dr. K.M. Cherian Hospital. Okay?
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarnaji. Really wonderful to see the progress that you and your team are making with FOSWL. Lovely to see the records you're keeping with the guidance of our friend and late M.L. Swami. Let us continue with that, and any help we can provide from here, we'll be happy to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
With that, I think that concludes our first segment of today's program. Now we have the exciting part of hearing some wonderful talks with our guest speakers for the formal FOSWL session. I would like to hand this over now to my friend, who is well known. I think his name and reputation is well known to all of us here. Dinesh Bajaj, thank you so much for being part of this program for a very long time before even ICC was formed. You've been part of this senior program, and everything you do, your passion, your commitment, your humor is very well received by all of our members. Of course, you know, the time commitment has always been you know, with us, and we really appreciate that. Now with the Tri-Valley launch, you are also heavily committed in bringing seniors in that region to be part of this ICC program. So with that, all yours, Dinesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you. Thank you. Great session. Great first session. My God, I didn't know half the things, even though I've been involved for 20 years with the FOSWL. The things happening in, you know, Hyderabad and Chennai, the programs they're doing, and the commitment they're showing, and even the beginning of the program. I knew some of our seniors met together, but to see those pictures there, Umaji, that was really nostalgic. You know, what I had understood, and I think it's still true, that these seniors were saying, yep, we want to come to ICC and we want to sing and we want to talk and do other things, but we want something intellectually stimulating. And as they say, man doesn't live by bread alone. They want their intellect challenged. And that's what the group created and took it worldwide. So I'm so proud of this organization. I have participated in it. I have actually personally given a lecture on US political system there. My wife, who is a physical therapist, she has given a session. And I know my daughter came to talk about human rights because she's very much involved in that one. So there have been many lectures there. And I was just looking through I went through, you know, Umaji sends out these announcements, FOSWL announcements. And I said, let me see what kind of things we have been doing here in our own center in Cupertino. And I saw we had a session on history of Indian Air Force and air power. Now, we talk about technology, a lot of it, nanotechnologies and medical technologies and stuff, but we get into a lot of other subjects. Languages, culture, and communication. We had Dr. Sadiq Popal from University of San Francisco. We had a session on saving the world with dogs and cats. And this was by President of Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. We also had a session that Shakuntala Bahadurji helped us with. She brought her nephew to talk about bones and joints. He's an orthopedic surgeon at Kaiser Hospital here in Fresno, and he came and enlightened. So this program is so valuable, and I love it so much. There is no question that this program has to keep on going. As much, you know, at Cupertino, we have total commitment to keep it going, and we will be doing everything to, you know. And I, again, recollect some of these founders. You know, I got very close to Swamiji and then Santanamji, Narayan Swamiji, and Professor Srinivasan. I knew them and I saw how much passion they had for it. And it almost reminds me of a case study at Harvard, how to start a social organization. It's really, as I look at it, the commitment that these seniors, especially Swamiji, put into it. They had an idea of, you know, finding something intellectually challenging. But idea doesn't take you very far unless you put passion into it. they really, the power of one, the power of group together got shown at ICC in a major way. I mean, these, especially Swamiji, I remember him carrying a small bag and going to Milpitas, going to Livermore Temple to find speakers, to find donations. So many of us, when sometimes we think, what can I do? I'm all by myself. These people showed us the power of one. They really, that you can make a difference. If you are committed about something, you can take charge and you can make it happen, not only in your own city, county, but you can take it worldwide, as Swamiji showed. There are chapters in Andhra Pradesh, there are chapters in Tamil Nadu. We had one in Delhi also that was started, and there were in Pune. So you can really, if you are committed about it, you can make it happen. And Swami Garuji was a role model for me to see. You know, in Silicon Valley, you see people doing it in technology area, but what I saw in him, the passion in the social organization was just amazing. Many of the things I look at that, he developed so many, you know, people skills. He would go to each person, and just like Subbarao-ji had mentioned, why didn't your wife come today with you for attending the session? And if there was, you know, people from south, north, east, west, he would personally approach them and get them involved in the program, in some either reading a prayer or reading out the welcome part of the program. He involved everybody, and that's how you build teams. And that's what I saw in him and really admired how he was doing that. He added food. I mean, most of his programs were sponsored lunches and mostly from his own pocket. And along with that, he added ice cream later on. I mean, talk about really bringing people together. What a great way. And he invoked the whole universe. I mean, imagine we going to early 2000. Not too many people knew how to do PowerPoint or, you know, how to create Word documents. And he himself, I didn't know that, but he involved his family, his son-in-law, his other friends, anything that he needed. He invoked the whole universe to help him. So the message for all of us is we can really create organization. We can create groups that brings love, affection, meaning to our lives. Our golden years are not just to sit in a rocking chair and say, okay, ho gaya, ab hamara kaam ho gaya, ab bachcho ko karne do. No, we still have the power to do whatever we want to do. And we should learn that from FOSWL, from Swami Garu, and from, you know, various things that are happening within ICC. ICC even provides you a platform. They give you that opportunity to reach out to people and do those things. So that's, you know, what I have learned from FOSWL. I personally enjoy it very much. I'm totally committed to it. I like finding people who can enlighten us with new subjects. And our community here is very diverse and people have lots of experiences. And Rajji helps me, BV Jagdish, who is here on the session. Anytime I say, hey, we need a speaker, within a few minutes, we find somebody who has new area that we haven't learned about, or even the areas we have learned about, there are changes going on, we find people. So we are really having a great time with our Cupertino chapter, and we are going to keep it going. I like Subbarao-ji's idea to, you know, expand it at least once a year, doing that program together. I think is a wonderful idea. And one of the things that I saw a change happen was my friend BV Jagdish came as a speaker to one of our sessions. And he just observed something in the environment that FOSWL creates in our Cupertino Center. And he just felt so energized. And he kept telling me, every time I'm feeling down, all I have to do is come and visit you in one of your meetings and I get energized. And I looked at him. Here is my friend BV Jagdish, who's going to be our next speaker. He's a serial entrepreneur. He has created billions of dollars of wealth. He's run many companies, taken them public, to taken them, you know, had them be acquired by other larger companies. And now he's himself a VC, and he's also a social entrepreneur. He's become a close friend of mine through this FOSWL connection. And at this point, I welcome him to come in and share his experiences of FOSWL. Let's give a warm welcome to BV Jagdish. BV?
Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you for that wonderful, warm welcome. It always feels so amazing to see all our fantastic friends from ICC and to be spending time, even though virtually, I kind of miss being with all of you, dancing on the floor, singing together, chanting together, and sharing jokes. And, you remember all that?
I do.
Those are the amazing days. And I think we should, as soon as the thing opens up, we should all have a great party celebrating our good old days at ICC and celebrating all the good moments. Yeah, so it's been such a pleasure to be involved with ICC and so good to meet so many incredible people. And it's so nice to see an event like this with people from different parts of the world participating, especially people from India. And I had no idea, as you said, that FOSWL has spread so widely, and it is in existence in Hyderabad since 2009, and events are happening on a regular basis even in Hyderabad as well. Really, really fascinating. So I thought I'll just share with you some of my observations of being associated with ICC as well as with this FOSWL. So for those who don't know, my name is B.V. Jagadish, and I've been associated with ICC for over a decade in various forms. And it's absolutely an honor and a pleasure to be speaking on this very special occasion, the 250th event of FOSWL. That's really incredible, actually, because I don't know of too many regular monthly events that anyone else have hit 250 times without missing a beat, right? Kudos to all the founders, the late Sri M.L. Swami and all the other founders and the members of ICC and everybody who makes this thing possible. And it's really incredible to see 250 events, right, without missing a beat. And that too, month after month. So, so this FOSWL, or Friends of Same Wavelength, is actually one of my very favorite programs at ICC. I make it a point to attend and listen to some of the world-class speakers who come and share their experiences or teach the audience on various topics, as many of you have already mentioned, such as medical technologies or our own history, or people coming and talking about military, pilots, entrepreneurship, venture capitalism, so on and so forth. And every month, it's a different topic and a different speaker. Actually, I don't recall having attended a talk by the same speaker or the same topic. It's that diverse, and I don't know how you guys find such amazing speakers and amazing topics that get covered in this FOSWL program. Every time it's absolutely unique. And by the way, our ICC audience is no less. I'm sure you will all agree with me that the way they engage with the speaker by asking myriad questions right from the time the speaker stops speaking, and perhaps if lunch was not being served right after the FOSWL speech, these questions and interactions could perhaps go on for several hours. I hope you agree with me.
Yep.
Right? I, as a speaker, I have personally experienced this myself, right? And I have to say the most exciting part is the question and answer session. And by the way, these people, all our ICC folks, are so bold and they have absolutely zero hesitation in asking very candid and thought-provoking questions, right?
Very true. Very true.
Isn't that amazing? We've seen these question and answer for every speaker. The question and answer session just goes on and on and on. Everybody just keeps raising their hands and asking questions. So that just shows the involvement of the audience as well. Now, as I think about the concept of this FOSWL, I get this impression that it is so important to keep our brain active and engaged. It reminds me of my uncle who retired as a chief engineer from a public sector in India. And prior to retirement, he was really like a firebrand executive. very dynamic, highly intellectual, etc. And in India, in public sector, you retire at the age of 58, and he took the retirement as well. And for some reason, he intentionally chose to have a truly retired life, not doing anything and not worrying about anything, right? I mean, financially, he had taken care of himself very well, but somehow he just decided, I'm just going to retire, not going to do anything. This man, who was such a terrific personality while he was at work, and I had visited him, he was at this place called Neyveli in Tamil Nadu. So he was the chief engineer for the Neyveli Lignite Corporation. And such a terrific personality before retirement, literally, he started to sink both physically as well as the mental personality. And that too, in a matter of just less than a year. Such a personality just started to sink in less than a year. So if you look at the research, it always says that the human mind needs to be challenged and intellectually engaged all the time. And it's very important to keep the brain as active as possible in order not to get old at heart. As I always say, age is just a number. We may be old age-wise, but we need to be young at heart. And how do we remain young at heart? By involving ourselves with many of these things, continuously learning, engaging ourselves with youngsters, and so on and so forth, is how you actually remain young at heart. Also, we have heard the phrase, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So it's even more important to keep ourselves mentally active in order to have a healthy life for a long time. So the way Sri M.L. Swamiji has designed this FOSWL is that it actually provides an incredible environment for everyone to take leadership roles by organizing and understanding new topics, role play. I mean, if you look at the FOSWL, there is a specific role starting from opening session to the prayer, introduction, conclusion, main speaker, and everything. And once it's done, then ask questions in a very open forum. This requires people to understand the topic, synthesize the information, and have the courage to get up and ask relevant questions to the speaker. So there is a clear process Mr. Swami has set that requires many people to participate and also develop leadership skills, irrespective of age and gender, which I think is a fantastic methodology that FOSWL has created, and kudos to all the founders who have done that and all the people who are maintaining that. So all in all, FOSWL is a terrific program and brings incredible speakers and a lot of educational topics that the audience can take back and discuss with their other friends and family members. Let's continue this tradition and spread FOSWL across more centers so that many more people can benefit from it. So I really thank you for having me today, and I really look forward to the next speeches from Swamiji as well. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh.
And thank you, BV. Thank you for bringing out those two very important points about the questions. That is absolutely right. Many a speaker have said to me, my God, your audience is so, so intellectual and so enlightened that they ask these kinds of questions. They say that they've gone to many other places where there were technical people. They didn't ask the kind of questions that our audience did, and they do get impressed by it. And the other point you made about people retiring and taking it easy, actually, there was a study done for AT&T. AT&T used to be one of the biggest employer in this country before they got broken up into various Bell subsidies. And they used to say people who retired from AT&T, most of the men, within few years, 2 to 5 years, they were gone because they were not engaging themselves in any other intellectual pursuits after retirement. They were just going and sitting at home in the rocking chair, and there was a hire. So it is very important to intellectually engage yourself with other people who have expertise in other areas, as well as with society in general. So that very, very good point. Now, as they say,
and I think, Dinesh, I'd like to add to what BV just said, that oftentimes when I attend these sessions, BV, as you know, So at the Q&A session, some of our members become speakers themselves. They have so much passion that they want to provide their basically thought process, and they become speakers. So which is
Right.
just incredible how much, you know, passion comes out of those sessions.
Very true, very true. And now, as they say, to raise a child, you need a village. The same thing, to keep an organization going, you need a village also, a family. And Swamiji had a really wonderful family supporting him. And I had a chance to meet his son-in-law. He was Swamiji's driver. He was the IT person for Swamiji. He was just a plain loving, caring person who supported Swamiji all the way. And I have requested him to come and share with us his how he supported him and all the other things that he learned from Swamiji. Rao Pukalaji, are you there?
Yes, yes.
And Raoji is a very accomplished technology person also on his own right. And I see Sucharita ji also, and she supported him as well. So nice to see Sucharita ji. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Okay. I'm going to share the screen. So, can you see my screen?
Do you have the share screen?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we are. Yeah, now we can see you. Yeah,
Now we can
now
see
we can
it.
see. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, we see.
Yeah, we can see.
So primarily, I'm going to talk about my father-in-law, Mr. Amal Swami. So he is truly a visionary. So I want to quickly cover the family and go into FOSWL, basically. So he is, his father is a famous criminal lawyer in Kakinada, which is East Godavari. At that time, it was Madras Presidency to start with. So he's so famous that the governor of Madras Presidency also visited him. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can. Yes, yes, we can.
So his mother is Madhuri Dachamamba, and this is on the right are the in-laws. In fact, Mrs. Nagamani is the daughter of the right side couple, also sister-in-law of my father-in-law. These are the pictures, wedding pictures of both of, my father-in-law and mother-in-law. And this is the family, Mr. Swami, Rangamani, his father and mother, and with siblings and their spouses. So they have 3 children. Ramesh, who lives at Raleigh, North Carolina, Sureka in Hyderabad, and Sucharita in Cupertino. And then there is one more child who is T.T. Gopalan Nair. So he lives in Hyderabad. He came to him at the age of 18 and stayed with him until his death, basically. So he's in 70s now. So that's the love and bond that he had with everyone, including Nair. So he has the 3 grandchildren. So 2 of them are my sons. The other one is Ramesh's daughter. So I'm just showing you the pictures from the younger days as they grew older. So this is a picture in 1950s, 1970s, 1980s, 2000s, and 2010s. So education-wise, he went to the PR College of Kakinada, which was then in Madras Presidency. Now, of course, East Godavari District, Kakinada. A famous actor in Telugu, who is someone like Balraj Sahni of Hindi films, was his classmate in high school, basically, S.V. Rangarao. Some of these, he is a legendary actor in Telugu films, basically. And he went to Gindi College of Engineering and he did civil engineering. And he, more than the studies, I think he excelled in sports. He was a avid football player. Now we call it soccer. right? So they used to have inter-university finals, inter-university games. He represented Madras University, and the Madras University went to the finals. Okay, this is combined India-Pakistan at that time. Okay, the other side was University of Punjab, Lahore. So he went to Lahore to play, and they lost it, but they made it to the finals, basically. So he was a very good soccer player. So he used to tell me that one of the things that these games teach is to be social, because soccer is not like cricket, for example. Cricket also you need to cooperate with the other batsmen, but here you need to cooperate with every player, basically. So that taught his social skills early on. Career-wise, he joined the PWD of the Madras Presidency. He served as executive engineer and then super engineer, chief engineer. And then he shifted to NHPC in Delhi as general manager. Then he came back on the demand of Andhra Pradesh government to serve the state again. So as additional secretary, and then he became the first engineer in chief. And then afterwards he did the World Bank. So one of the key factors I observed is he has an extreme discipline, very disciplined person, amazing focus, and he has strategy. Okay, he always strategizes and plans it, very hardworking, and amazing social skills. None of these children he has had that, unfortunately, but some of them got some at least. So level-headedness and goal orientation. So with respect to decision making, once he decided, he is rock solid. Nobody can change him. He listens to everyone, doesn't offend anyone, but he will still go the way he decided. Okay? So that also helped him in a lot of things, actually. So this is the Sri Dam. So he literally built it from scratch, from the coffer dam to the entire dam. Okay. Originally, this was supposed to be only a hydroelectric project, but since he is a visionary, he said to the government, hey, we can irrigate a lot of, lakhs of acres. So he converted the hydroelectric dam into irrigating a lot of dry tracts of land. So that is amazing. Then, of course, the government used to have several different chief engineers. They used to report to the IAS secretaries. So it's kind of disorganized. So he wanted to pull everything into one umbrella, and he was made the first engineer in chief. So every chief engineer was kind of organized through him, basically. So as an engineer, he can have a much better vision to reform the administration. So he did that, basically. So he also came to USA for 6 months in 1964, visited primarily irrigation and hydroelectric dams and heavy machinery that helped him in his career. He widely traveled to several different countries. And then, of course, because he is an expert, whenever the president or prime minister or governor comes, he used to explain them the intricacies of the dam and the work. So this is Sanjeev Reddy, the president at the time, and the left one is the governor, and he's speaking to him. And then there's the vice president, I think Shankar Dayal Sharma or somebody else, I think. So then Indira Gandhi as prime minister. So he also wrote an autobiography where he shared his experiences in life, so which was very well received. And a lot of people read it. And then we'll move on to the FOSWL. Okay. So as I said, always hardworking. Whenever he comes out of FOSWL, that's the posture he used to have in front of the computer. And he took initially some classes at ICC in Santa Clara, and then then he became savvy with using the computer and at least word processors. Okay, so he used to ask me a lot of questions, and I used to tell him what to do and stuff like that. So how FOSWL started, I think some of you might have covered it. So Mr. Swami realized that the seniors here had distinguished careers in their homelands, like India and Pakistan and other countries. But they also held high positions in government, business, and professional fields. Yet there is no forum to engage them intellectually. Okay? So few seniors started thinking on these lines and started FOSWL. And FOSWL started on November 28, 1999 by these members in a restaurant called Banjara in Sunnyvale. That restaurant doesn't exist anymore, but that's where they finalized things. So the intent was to arrange for intellectual lectures from different experts each month without fail, basically. So this is he is also gung-ho in organizing every 50 lectures or every 100 lectures, a big meeting. And this is the first one we did in 2008. The program is meticulous. He plans everything, calls people, invites them, and he is on phone incessantly to make sure the attendance is absolutely the whole. The hall is full. And this is the one from 2016. So,
Wow.
okay. I helped him prepare this, but basically he is the driver.
Great souvenir.
So just to tell you how passionate he is, this picture will tell you how passionate he is. This is the world map. So he envisioned that he started FOSWL here, and he started FOSWL there in India. But originally he started in Hyderabad, in Chennai, 2 chapters, and then Vijayawada, Pune, Delhi, and all that. And then his vision is he wants FOSWL everywhere. So even he dreamt of a FOSWL university, okay? So which didn't happen till now. So this is the picture from 100 lectures celebration. The mayor of Milpitas was kind enough to attend. So he unveiled the souvenir, and this is the audience. And he showed the souvenir to the attendees. And then the mayor of Milpitas gave a commendation from the city, and this is the commendation. So he is also gung-ho on making this souvenirs. So initially I helped doing everything. I edited everything. He used to provide the material, but I edited the whole thing. I designed the cover and the back cover and stuff like that. And then we found a printer and then printed. So this is about 150 pages or more, I think, already. So meticulously, he would put the table for every lecture, who gave it, what date, and stuff like that, and then index it. It's a lot of work editing this, basically. And then, since I'm a professional and I get busy once in a while, so for 200 lectures, he didn't depend on me. So he took my template and then edited painfully. He's already 90 years old, and he did everything. And then I did the cosmetic formatting, basically, and then designed the cover and stuff like that. And then, so that's how passionate he is. So these are the pictures from FOSWL. This Swamiji from Chenmai Mission attended. And then this is for the birthday celebration. He used to admire Srinivasan Garu. He used to call him Pakistan Gandhi. So he used to admire him like anything. And these are the other pictures. And of course, he admired Dr. Rastogi and Dr. Srinivasan very much. They're very close friends of his. And as well as Dr. Santanam, Professor Judge Santanam Garu. So these pictures-wise, these are one of the best pictures that they had. High quality pictures. They had fun in life. And with our dogs, 2 dogs. And then here there's a picture of his brother and sister-in-law. And this is another birthday. So always spend time with family. So this is, he is hugging his brother, who is also a famous civil lawyer and public prosecutor in Kakinada, now retired. So again, this is a picture. This left one is, I think he was supposed to play the role of Dr. Rajaji. So he got prepared in
That's right. That was one of our Independence Day.
right. Yeah. So, but Dineshji, you are also in this picture.
That's right. I look so much younger than that.
Yeah. So this is with the family back. Yeah.
Very nice.
After
Wow.
my mother-in-law passed away. Yeah. So this is a nice caricature done at 90 and 93. Then enjoying with the grandkids. Obviously, I'm the 10th planet, being son-in-law. I'm out of the picture. I'm taking the picture.
You're taking
So, this is my first son. He always used to mentor my first son. He had very high regard for my first son. And he used to always praise him. And he also used to mentor him. That is Vikas Pakala. And this is an extremely nice picture again, the dog. And then this is the classic picture. So both of them are, I mean, my dog and he are both staring out of the window, looking at the street. My dog may be thinking of a treat, but he is thinking of FOSWL, FOSWL, FOSWL. He is a great soul. I think make FOSWL continue forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Rao Pokalaji. That's beautiful. That's beautiful what you shared. And you have been a great support to him. And we really thank you for being part of our FOSWL group also. Thank you. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And Judge Santanamji got mentioned in there. And actually, the point I wanted to make was, if you see those founding pictures, there were all these men there. They are the ones who came up with the idea of FOSWL. But that doesn't mean ladies weren't involved. There were, especially one lady, that Sunila Fondekarji, was always challenging him. क्या ये technical लोग लेके आ जाते हैं, हमें कुछ समझ नहीं आती है, nano technology क्या होती है और ये chip technology क्या होती है, ये वो. She would be bugging him कि हमारे लिए भी कुछ interesting बनाओ. And he really went out of to make sure that we get our ladies involved in this program also. So सुनीला जी, आप बताइए आपके क्या experiences थे स्वामी जी के साथ और FOSWL. आपके पतिदेव भी involved थे उस founding organization में, वासुदेव फाउंडेकर जी. Please share your experiences. सुनीला जी. हैं सुनीला जी?
सुनीता जी अनम्यूट कीजिए. सुनीला जी अनम्यूट कीजिए.
सुनीला जी अनम्यूट कीजिए.
हाँ, नमस्कार. Chairman Dinesh Bajaj ji, my fellow FOSWLians, ladies and gentlemen. Today's Cupertino chapter of ICC had its origin beginning with one program, Chhajju Ka Chaubara, 1 minute, under the guidance of late Sri Aryabhushan. It was a program of sharing written articles and poems in Hindi. Slowly, more and more people of Indian origin joined ICSC. Among them were 4 people from southern states of India. They were late Sri M.L. Swami, late Professor Dr. Akur Srinivasan, late Justice Sri M. Santanam, and late Sri A. Narayan Swami. Unable to participate productively in the program being conducted, these 4 friends, along with my late husband, Sri Fondekar, and some ICSC members, met separately to discuss topics on interest spanning science, engineering, law, etc. Initially, they met in a park on Saturdays. Due to vagaries of weather, their meetings were often be cancelled. Not willing to give up, they moved to a restaurant to continue with their meetings. Slowly, word spread and more people joined the group. This brought in a new set of problems, as blocking the restaurant tables for long hours was not permitted. After some time, ICC merged with India Community Center, ICC.
ICSC.
ICC, India Community Center. After some time, ICSC merged with India Community Center, ICC, headquartered at Milpitas. Meanwhile, more intellectually oriented people from other states of India joined. They together coined a name for this exclusive group as Friends of Same Wavelength, FOSWL. Before that, they were just a group. A committee was formed with the president, vice president, secretary, joint secretary, and treasurer. They raised their own funds to conduct the meetings. It was decided that they would invite eminent speakers in different fields to enlighten on diverse topics. Since most of women members at that time were homemakers, it was too technical for us to follow and enjoy, and so slowly the members of women attending FOSWL started to diminish. Sri Swami Garu seen this trend and immediately brought in his wife Srimati Rangamani, Srimati Vasanta Raghavendra, Srimati Prema Santanam, and me joined, and Swami Garu ensured that we had a definite role to play during the meetings. He arranged one meeting only for women's interest because we wanted light subjects. In those days, Mrs. Maithili Kumar was a very popular dancer in the Bay Area. He arranged her dance performance in a FOSWL meeting. Can you imagine? She explained about Bharatanatyam dance forms, its history, mudras and their meanings, along with facial expressions. Everybody liked the program a lot. That day, he made me the chairperson. More women started to attend and the purpose was served. In spite of above efforts, the attendance was still quite low, not befitting the distinguished invited speakers. Swami Garu came up with another novel idea. He started sponsoring lunch from his own funds. And this core group of women serve as volunteers to distinguish the food. Again, it was a masterstroke, and more people started attending the meetings, and the audience grew in numbers, and FOSWL came to be what it is today. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you. Thank you for providing that perspective. I know you used to challenge.
Can you imagine? I am FOSWL.
मुझे याद है आप हमको तंग करती थी. Another lady who was very actively involved in our FOSWL program, and I call her like Sarojini Naidu of our freedom movement, जो है Prema Santanam ji. Of course, she's wife of Judge High Court Judge Santanam ji. Prema ji, आप भी अपना experience share कीजिए. Prema Santanam ji.
Thank you, Dinesh ji. As you rightly mentioned, he wanted to involve all persons from all sides. So even for handing bouquet, he would like me to call one from south, one from north. And another thing, he wanted me to involve Sunila first. He said, once Sunila joins, all our gang will join. So it was just to influence her. He wanted me to first. Thank you so much. I will start. Since I witnessed and participated, even the first meet, I deem it a privilege to share the history of FOSWL, its start and amazing growth. After a lot of discussion and deliberation at CUPERTINO Senior Center at Stevens Creek Park, to start a forum where these eminent men and women on same wavelength can meet, talk, interact at the intellectual level. This took final shape on 28th, 1999 at Banjara Indian restaurant when they attended 60th birthday celebration of Pradeep Joshi, former director of ICSC. They met again and discussed other details. One of Swami's relatives suggested the name Fellows of Same Wavelength. It was modified and christened as Friends of Same Wavelength. The forum should provide intellectual output in various fields of science, technology, engineering, spiritual, other fields. Ground rules were enunciated and finalized. The proceedings of FOSWL shall be in the international language, English. Every meeting of FOSWL will be chaired by a chairperson of the day. All persons who are interested in science, intellectual professional pursuits can join as its members. First meeting was held on 17th June 2000. Speaker, Professor A. Srinivasan. Second meeting was September 2000. Speaker H.L. Verma, Supreme Court lawyer and author. Initially, Swami had to face so many hurdles. Fixing a speaker was one thing. Creating interest in members to attend the meeting was the biggest problem. Those days, there was a very low membership. Other than Wednesday, there was poor attendance for all meetings. For every meeting, Swami used to make phone call to each member, inviting them. Whenever he spotted a new member, he used to introduce himself and hand over the flyer, inviting him for the coming FOSWL meeting. The job of inviting the lady members was entrusted to Rangamani, his wife, and me. Just to impress upon the speaker the value of the audience, he would request each member to introduce himself like school students. Such was the magic of his charm. To achieve the progress and success of FOSWL, full credit should go to the larger extended team of his friends who supported Swami in every way, like the group in the famous novel by R.K. Narayan, Swami and his friends. They helped him organize events, fixing up speakers, sponsoring lunch, contributing funds for the expenses. Earlier, the meetings used to be held on Saturdays. Then, second Monday was allotted to FOSWL. As FOSWL is gaining importance, speakers, prominent businessmen, technocrats, even busy doctors managed to find time for giving speeches on a weekday. Imagine, busy weekday, Monday. Swami used to proudly announce at the beginning of every meeting how FOSWL meetings were conducted without a break. Yes, conducting meetings in a foreign land among people not familiar with is no mean achievement. Swami used to visit India for 6 months since Rangamani was feeling homesick. In his absence, Srinivasan, or my husband, Santanam, used to take charge of FOSWL and continue the events. There was no problem excepting the collecting the memento. Swami was very particular of honoring the speakers for their valuable time with a memorable memento, though others had their own reservations due to its cost. It cost $50. $50 for engraving the name, date, and other details. Total, it cost $100 for each meeting. There was one particular shop at the CUPERTINO mall he used to buy. The engraving, they generally would take an hour and a half. We used to go with Professor Rastogi and Kamala. We would be hanging around for some time and collect the memento. During one of our visits to Dr. Goodman, we noticed that the eminent orthopedic surgeon, who was one of the speakers of FOSWL, proudly displayed it in his office. Then we realized how the Swami's vision, the memento, is one of the reasons to brand FOSWL a unique one. We were disappointed, particularly Swami. He could not get Kamala Harris, who was the first Indian origin woman to become Attorney General, California, to participate in the 100th meeting. He collected money from friends and family members. A sizable amount was handed over to Milpitas ICC to open an account in the name of FOSWL. My husband always used to point out to Swami, but for his support of his wife and family, he wouldn't have achieved this. True, his wife Rangamani and family members, especially Sucharita and Prakash Pakala, their grandsons Vinil and Vikas, they helped him a lot physically and financially. Last days, when his health was deteriorating, they took care of him, also helped to continue FOSWL meeting. I would like to acknowledge their contribution to the success of FOSWL. The list of prominent speakers included Congressman Mike Honda. Swami used to coax new members to start chapter FOSWL at their hometown. He made it happen. Several chapters were started. he was keeping track of their activities. To motivate members and to impress upon the speaker, Swami used to read out the detailed report of each chapter at the beginning of FOSWL meeting here in US. After these formalities, the regular meeting would start at 11:30. The completion of 60 lectures are celebrated at Thai auditorium, and celebration of 100 lectures was held in ICC Milpitas. And I say the Cupertino Milpitas mayor and Santa Clara mayor were the chief guests. A citation certificate and appreciation was presented to M.L. Swami by the mayor on both occasions. As Swami himself pointed, over a period of time, we have come to a stage now that the speakers feel it is an honor to them if he or she can address the eminent audience of FOSWL. Looking back, it's a good feeling that seniors at the age of 70s and 80s are able to think, work, and achieve these laudable goals in spirit of camaraderie, friendship, and community service, in keeping with being fellows of the same wavelength. Finally, I would like to thank Dinesh Bajaj, Mase Shadri, and the Raj Desai to carry on their legacy and taking it to further level. As he expected this from them, it is happening. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Premaji. Thank you for bringing those memories and the point you made about him being very close to his grandchildren.
Yeah.
Success of a family, as I look at it, I'm
definitely.
now. If you can get your children to do even a small part of what you were doing.
Yeah. They were very much involved, especially grandson, very much involved, and financially they support.
And Swami Garuji, as Rao Pokalaji was saying, was mentoring Vikas Pokala. And Vikas, I have been in touch with Vikas, and we have the honor and pleasure of having Vikas come and share his memories of his grandpa, as well as tell us where he wants to
very close.
learn from him. Where does the younger generation want to see FOSWL go? So Vikas, are you online?
Yeah, can you hear me? I can't see you guys. That's why something.
I can hear you loud and clear, but can't see you. I will hopefully.
Oh, you can't see me?
Yeah, let me see. Speaker, I should be able to now see the. No, I can't see you. I see only Premaji right now. No, are you? Is your? Can other people see him?
No, we don't see him.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Should I just keep going?
We want to see you for sure.
Okay, sorry. Shall I just log out and come back in?
Video is not able.
Share the video.
Yeah, I did. That's what.
Start this video.
Yeah, if you need to relog, that's okay. We can keep talking about it.
A second, I'm sorry.
Dinesh ji, he had great hopes on you and for Raj Desai. With your connections, all these things, it made to happen. I was very happy. It's happening. I am very happy that it's happening.
It's all a team. I think
Umaji. No. Very happy.
So, and Raj is always there supporting.
Yeah, correct. He, we know, foresee all these things.
We are all. And Premaji, I miss Mr. Santanam giving me a hug.
Yeah, everybody.
I remember so vividly all these great giants. They gave me so much love and affection.
Yeah, right.
That's terrible. So, very true. But they started a great program, great, tradition they have set for us. So it's an honor to be part of this program here. So, is our India people still awake? Umaji, aap abhi tak hain ke so gayi?
Yeah, they would have gone to sleep.
Yeah, unka jo lamba.
I am there.
Sharma ji is there.
Without coffee.
Dinesh bhai.
She's there.
ये तो लगता है कुपर्टिनो में बैठी हैं आप.
Dinesh is there. Apple headquarters.
Vikas is there. Vikas, the floor is yours, my friend. Yeah, take over.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So first off, I just want to say congratulations to all of you. I think 250th meeting is not a joke. I think if you're going every month, I calculated out it takes, if you take out weekends and holidays like a working year, it's a full year's worth of meetings in days. Again, organizations like this, I think are built on vision, of course, but they survive on participation. I think that's where I think you guys should all give yourselves a round of hand to keep this going like this, right? I also wanted to thank you for, this has been a long time since I've actually had the privilege of hearing about my grandfather again from so many people. And so just hearing all these stories is it's very heartwarming. So I appreciate all of that. I'm honored to be speaking on this momentous occasion. ML Swami is my grandfather. I call him Tata. And I know intimately how much he cared about the organization from its inception. I'll give you more of my perspective. As you know, I haven't visited all of the 250th meetings, but I do see him from a different perspective than you guys have seen, similarly how you guys see him in a different perspective than I see. So from the early days where he would ask me to drive him to Valley Fair, similar to the previous presenter, we would go to Things Remembered in Valley Fair Mall, and he would purchase that small timepiece, and he would give that to every presenter each week. He was very careful about that. He had a constant request to anyone and everyone he met to come share their background and experience to enrich the members of FOSWL. There's a little FOSWL, I don't know if you guys know about this because you're talking about all the different chapters, but he has a little FOSWL in our own apartments where this group is age 4 to 10, and they actually meet with him every afternoon when he's in India, and they're called Little FOSWL, and they have little conversations. It's like a miniature meeting of the minds there as well. And then as well as I always gave him the same Christmas gift each year, and that was a small donation to FOSWL, and he would always follow up with ICC vehemently to make sure those funds were allocated to his program and only his program. And I'm sure several of you have gone through that. So, and then as mentioned, I was given a prompt to discuss where FOSWL could go in the future, but I actually had to step back. And before I got there, I was thinking, how did FOSWL get to where it is now? Like, why did my Tata want to kick off FOSWL? What problems was he trying to solve, and have those problems been solved? And so the three answers I came up with as I was observing as a bystander, because I wasn't actually in the meetings where he was coming up with this strategy, but the three areas that I saw, and I'll go into each one of these in a little more detail, but one is community. The second was learning, and the third was independence. And so in terms of community, I spent a lot of time during my childhood and beyond my childhood visiting my grandparents in Hyderabad. The concept of social life in America just pales in comparison to what you have in India. In India, we lived in flats where there were 84 units in our building. The door opens up in the morning and it stays unlocked. And from that moment on, the auntie from next door will come over for a bit to chat about something. The grandmother from the 7th floor will come down and drop off some food. The milkman will come, newspaper person, the clothes person, the vegetable seller might stop by. Some uncle may come by at lunch during his break. Some family friends may come over in the evening. Aside from the break for the afternoon nap, I mean, how can you not have a perfect day without a nap? But the door stays open all the way till nighttime. Coming to America, there's no such opportunity here. Like, I mean, not only do we keep the door closed, we keep it locked. We hardly meet the neighbors. So how does someone come from that environment to this environment and remain sane? It's pretty difficult. So again, FOSWL, I thought, provided that community for him. When I came to pick him up or drop him off, both my grandparents, occasionally there's so many friendly faces there. They're socializing at rates that are not the norm in the US. Much closer to what you see with India. You see hundreds of people talking, chatting constantly. And that community wasn't just about socialization. I think socialization is a big part, but I saw how they came together when my grandmother passed away. And it was just a wonderful memorial, and I really appreciate that as well. And I'm sure he did too. And then, so moving on to learning, the presenters have been exceptional. And I think several people have mentioned that. I only joined a few meetings to listen to the presenters, but you have a very well-prepared presenters. You have captive audience, and learning and keeping your mind strong was a key focus for my grandparents. And they've lived very long lives. And so my grandmother, for example, she would play Sudoku at a very high level every day. And we could also see how FOSWL helped her develop into a confident speaker and communicator, because we've seen her make some of these amazing speeches later in her life. And so if you think about somebody who probably stood beside her husband for tens of years, decades, just listening to him speak, And it's inspiring for me, I'm actually terrified of public speaking. So I'm actually terrified right now, actually. And to watch her stand up in front of so many large audiences and give eloquent, well thought out speeches, like I have to give credit to FOSWL, because that is a development area that she must have picked up from there, because I've seen her speak in FOSWL as well. And then in terms of independence, when I asked my grandfather to forego a trip to India because I was worried about his health, this is later on in his life, his response was very crisp. And I'm going to paraphrase it and it feels a little bit sharp, but it feels as sharp as this in a paraphrase. I can live longer if I'm independent than if I had my health alone. And so if you see my grandparents in India, they live on their own. They manage where they go, who they meet. They provide safe haven for my parents, who are providing them safe haven in US. The roles are basically switched while the ages remain the same, essentially. Of course, they have more support in India from loving people who've been with them for decades. But for all intents and purposes, they call the shots on their schedule and activities, period. And so in a reversal, when they're in the US, they're confined to their home at the mercy of my parents. So, okay, it's not really that bad, but my parents are quite flexible and they did a great deal to take care of them. But independence at that level that they had is just not one of those things my parents could provide them. But with FOSWL, again, it provided that too. Initially, they needed drop-offs and pickups. Someone would have to be at home to take them or be at home to receive them. But later they had rideshare, they had outreach. They would they'd be safely taken and dropped off on their own. They could come and go from the home at their leisure. At FOSWL, again, they were independent. The community supported each other. It's subtle to draw on something as basic as independence, but that's one of the core gifts it provided to my grandparents, and I'm sure several of you. And so that leaves us basically with where should FOSWL go, or where is it going? And I don't have a solution for you, but I can say there's two major shifts here and coming. And so one is the elephant in the room. In all
Uh-oh. Seems like we lost his voice, connection there. Can anybody else hear him? No?
No, I couldn't.
He froze actually.
Yeah, that it is. Well, we are going to keep Vikas involved in our programs for sure. And I was just thinking while he was speaking, he's going to come in as on speakers.
There, Dinesh, he's there.
He's there. Okay, Vikas, go ahead. You froze in between.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to catch? I'll catch up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that just backing up a little bit, I mean, the elephant in the room that I was mentioning is COVID, right? And it makes it difficult for us to have these in-person interactions until it's safer. And so as you can see, we're on video conference. I also typically work all day behind a screen. And socializing in person versus socializing behind a screen is very different. It doesn't feel the same. And I also have a tough time engaging in social meetings like this, like where there's too many attendees, because it's hard to have that personal interaction sometimes. And so I hope one thing that FOSWL can do is provide more interactive opportunities to members to socialize in smaller groups as well as large. And that could help introverts like me engage more with the different people. The second thing that the second shift that I see is like there's a next generation problem of integration. So my grandfather's generation, they came from India to live with their children here. And this is likely going to produce an influx of their own children who they've lived with and who've lived here, studied here, worked here in the US, needing a community like this. So like my parents, they don't come from the same problem set that my grandparents came, but they're going to have that same need for this community. And then furthermore down the line, their children who've been born here and lived here and grew up their whole lives here is also going to need this community. So like one of the things that I foresee is that you have a diverse population that's already diverse here. You can see that from South India, North India, globally, they need to become even more diverse over the years to basically support like the coming generations. And so I think the community has been created, obviously, it's been developed, and it's going to have to adapt to new members, different backgrounds and perspectives. But it's exciting to see how this organization is going to grow, and it seems ready to support. So again, I appreciate the time to speak on this day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vikas. And we are going to keep you involved in this and come up with these solutions that you were talking about to keep the community involved. That's what ICC provides. That's what FOSWL provides, is to bring the community together, give a platform to create programs like FOSWL and many other types of programs that we can create too. And what I want to see is in 100 years, FOSWL is still going on here. We are still doing these programs, and ICC is very strong and bringing community together. So I think we are running a little bit behind on time. So I'm going to give at this time, thank you, Vikas. And I want you as a speaker soon. So start thinking of a topic to be a FOSWL speaker in the next few months, please. All right. Thanks again. With that, I give the control. Our second session is over. Now the third part of the session, which is actually the FOSWL program for the day.